We're good.
All right, we're good. Madam Chair, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, sorry. We do co-chair, so I wasn't sure if I was running it this time or not. So this is the August 12th Recreation Advisory Committee meeting. And if we'll stand, we'll start with an invocation and pledge. Father, thank you for bringing all of us here safely. Thank you for your blessings during the storm that just approached the area. We could have had so much more trouble than we did, and we're grateful. Help us to make good decisions and with our planning tonight and with our goal setting as we try to help the city move forward with its recreation plan. We're, again, thankful for all our blessings, and we ask that you give us your guidance in all these things. Your most precious name we ask it. Amen.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all. All right. Okay, we'll start with approval of the agenda. If I can get a motion.
So moved. Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, okay. And then moving down to public comments, do we have any?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll move down to public presentations.
There is public
Okay.
presentation.
Hello.
Good evening. As many of you know, I interned here 8 years ago. Now, obviously, full circle, running the intern program that we have. So it's definitely exciting that it's been revived post-COVID. We're getting more and more interest in the program, but I'm going to introduce our fall intern, Denise.
Hello, everyone. I'm Denise. I'm the new fall intern. I just graduated in May with Recreation and Sport Management, a master's degree, and I went to UT, so Tennessee, but I'm excited to be here.
Well, welcome.
You guys have any questions?
Anybody?
She has hit the ground running, especially since we were out for two days last week. She is, like I said, our interns go through pretty much everything that we do. There is no going to get coffee. They are joined alongside us as soon as they come into the door and helping us to achieve all of our goals and objectives. So
will you be helping with the Christmas card?
I think she will be gone by then, but
She'll be leaving.
phone calls, right? And be working
She'll be
through this,
leaving
yes.
that week.
Let's get through hurricane season first.
I need help with some following up on some phone calls.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, moving down to old business. Is there any old business we
No,
need to
ma'am.
discuss? Okay, and so presentation and approval of minutes is next for July 8th meeting. Does anybody have anything that they needed to point out about the last minutes? Nope. All right, can I get a motion for approval?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Okay. And then new business, Jen.
Okay, so the new business, in your packets, you will see our current goals somewhere. I think they're probably all the way at the very end. In addition, which I did not send you all electronically, I couldn't put my hands on them, so we got them today. You also have council's goals that are in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to review over our priorities and goals. This is from 22 and 23. So now we're into the 24-25 season. So it's always kind of a year behind, but we have a lot of room to be able to make some changes. And again, we always want to make sure that we are aligned with council. And at the same time, this is an opportunity for you all being out there in the public to see if some new things or things that we might want to change. So our first priority was our trail system. And we were very successful with that. We opened our very first trail. I think that was in maybe October, December timeframe. I think October we got our our CO for that, and I think we did our groundbreaking, or not groundbreaking, our celebration maybe in December, I think. So the next piece of that is to be able to do a connection from the current trail, which is all the way in the back section by the 2 baseball fields, and be able to move that section all the way over to where the Royal Live Oaks area is, into the new development that's going over there as well. That is one system priority that we can be looking at. Does anyone have any questions about that priority? No? Okay.
Does that line up with council?
So, yes and no. I guess that's what we could do. We could read what councils are first. I just wanted to kind of do an overview. Council, some of their main things right now are to engage an outside contractor for independent evaluation and assessment. Basically, what that is developing a strategic plan, a comp plan. And this is something that we have asked for the last couple of years. And the one thing about comprehensive plans, they are a pathway to be able to figure out your vision and where you want to go, but they can be costly. So, everyone knows that council has a very tough job. Not only do they, have to be able to facilitate lots in the city, they also have to be able to allot funding for all this stuff. So we will continue to ask for that. And it is something that's needed. We are in a position right now where, we all live here, so growth is coming at us full force. So, there's a lot of things that we need. The community says they want more fields. Others might want pickleball. Others might want outdoor space. So being able to engage with our community and asking all those hard questions so that we can plan ahead. There's only so much land inventory that we have right now. So being able to engage with this process is something that's going to be able to help the department move forward in the next 15, 20 years. So that is one thing that they want us to try and work through. One of the other things that they wanted us to look at was including the development of Millstone Landing. That's in conjunction with the Riverport Parkway North, which is part of the Exit 3 project. So when we did our priorities back in 2022, they were working on it, but we didn't have the go-ahead from the state and DOT. All that stuff hadn't merged together. So now it is a done deal. It's coming. Is it going to come next year? No, it's not. So we do have some time. But Millstone, as many of you know, I know Tam lives down in that area, it's beautiful. We have a lot of interesting things that are down there, and that area is going to change. Not only are we going to see a lot more residential area down there in Perrysburg, we're also still working with some of our partners to work on getting some pathways down there, some more green space. So there's a lot of different things that we can do at Millstone. It is a boat landing right now. We've made some small adjustments out there. I think we put a shelter in, not last year,
Shelter is
but
absolutely beautiful.
yeah, I think it was maybe a year and a half ago. I don't remember. Yeah, we try and get something with CIP, every year. I think we put some new signage out there maybe about 2 years ago. So, and it is one of the most used on the Savannah River. So, there's always room to look at the existing building that's right there. We have great partnership with the folks that are out there in that building, the Marine Rescue Squadron. They're great folks, very heavily tied to, the old downtown Hardeeville. So it's important to get a lot of their feedback and figure out how we can move with that. We also have land adjacent that's down there, and we're also working with the 250 Jasper Foundation that is doing the Civil War reenactments and Revolutionary War reenactments and all that kind of stuff. So, again, trying to bring a whole different side of cultural tourism to our area. So a lot of different things that we can work through with there. So that is something that we are looking to initiate. It doesn't mean that we'll have the funding to be able to do it, but, again, this is what council is looking from us
Do
to.
they, I don't mean to interrupt, but do they know how Exit 3 is going to interact with Millstone Landing?
Well, Perrysburg Road, that whole area is gonna change. That's where the majority of that traffic is gonna come. Now, you're not gonna see all of you're gonna see mostly residential. You're not gonna see the commercial. That's why, that's why exit 3 is being built to try and alleviate. Yes. Yeah,
The port.
The poor area.
yeah, trying to get all that traffic, even 17, I mean, anyone that's down there, it's a highway. And you see those big 18-wheelers, versus new residential that's coming, it's not a great mix. So that's one of the reasons why, it's being built, so, and it's an extensive project.
But it's not gonna affect Millstone.
No, it's not, nothing, the only thing,
help it.
yeah, the only thing it will affect is how we want to plan for it in the future.
Okay.
Meaning, do we want to, make some improvements down there? Do we want to tear down the building that's there, make a better building that's open to the, the community?
I didn't know if we
and
were
event
losing any
space?
land with it or if it was gonna affect the boat.
Yeah, not yet. As of right now, the only land that we have, now there's private land that's still out there and available. And I will tell you, and council is very proactive at looking at a lot of different land. They have a fund that's set up for it. Whether or not they buy some of that land, I don't know. But we're not getting anything different other than,
But we're not losing any of Millstone.
no, yep. One of the other things was to increase staff in recreation and tourism to support expanding programming, so, woo-hoo. I can't quite check that off yet. However, we will be, we just wrapped up interviews today, so we will be making an offer. And hopefully, by the end of the week, we will be able to announce who our candidate is and go from there. So it's a very lengthy process. Staff, Logan and his team were, very instrumental in getting that up and running, so very excited for that. And it will take me almost completely out of the complex. So this person will be able to, come in and do all that stuff, and they'll also have a part-time person, which we've been trying to fill, to help support, especially on the weekends and stuff, because anyone that's down here knows it's packed between football and soccer and softball, baseball, basketball, dogs. I mean, everything. So, anyway, that one we can, check off the list. The next section was develop the next section of the Richard Gray Sports Complex Trail. We just mentioned that in talking about the priority 1 for the trail system, so yes, it is still in there. And then also look at constructing the additional phases, the complex, including Juju Hudson. Yes, Terry, it is coming. So we just sent it out. We got, yeah, I feel like this is a park that's.
I'm all about the juju.
Yeah, like a century to build. But we just got an update. We had sent some stuff out to Whitmer, Jones, and Kiefer, and we've got 2 more pieces that we're waiting from the engineer. Once that's turned in, we will be able to go ahead and put the bid out. So I know Jody's ready. She's got some new help with her as well. More than likely, it will probably start after festival. There's no way they're going to be able to get everything done before festival, and we don't want to have a construction site down there. So that's another check. So we are where we're supposed to be with that. And then moving on, this is something we do all the time, working with developers to acquire the right-of-way to develop bike and pedestrian lanes throughout the city. One of the things, obviously, is East Argent. That one's going to be a huge, huge development. And they're already developing over there. Anyone that's been over in that area, I think Terry lives right out, he sees all that when he's going over there. Anyone that lives in that Sun City, the newer section of Sun City can see it all the time. It's crazy how many things.
6 lanes there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we are working to get some bike trails and all that stuff there as well. We also have the conservation easement that we still have. That's a little bit down further. And then what else do we have that's over there? I think it's about 80 acres that we'll have available, down the road, how we plan that, whether it's more fields, green space. Again, that's another master plan and how we do that. But that's why you need the strategic plan first to see how we want to develop and what we've got. And then from there, we kind of go after it, because that's going to be a big ticket. We're probably looking anywhere between $60 to $70 million. Yeah, it's basically, if you wanted to duplicate what we have here, and this is what I tell people all the time, and I know the mayor and I talk about it, we are 57 square miles. That's how big the city of Hardeeville is. And we have one complex that accommodates everybody. We have one playground that accommodates all those children, and that's it. And that is it. So there's a lot of planning where, again, there are, 55-plus communities that are here, and they certainly have their own amenities and stuff like that, but there's a lot of families coming, especially with Exit 3. All those warehouses and all that stuff that they're doing, they're going to be bringing a lot more families in, so. And we're also working with a lot of other different developers and stuff like that as well, so. One of the other ones is working with Heron Point. We just had a meeting with them, with Kevin, probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago. The Heron Point is going to be on 46, little bit past, what's the best, what's the name of that place? Where the church is. It's almost backing up to where the church is, the AME church.
All that land they're clearing over there?
Yep, and it's gonna go all the way down to where the Quick Trip is, that whole section.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're looking at doing a really nice natural path. That way, it makes someone getting from one side of 17 all the way over, nature trail, call it what you want. So that is in the works as well, so we can check that off. And
Hasn't
then,
that been planned several times, different times, though, that same land? That they were gonna develop it, whatever, I don't know.
I don't know, I know ROI has it, so it might have been somebody before.
Yeah.
But ROI is moving. I mean, they're on it. I think, I can't remember the name of the other developers. Kevin is the one we were working with, but John Smith is now the one that's moving through with that whole trail development plan. And, I mean, they're great developers to work with. They get it, they understand our community, understand the need for having these trails in different places, where people can go to, walk their dogs or whatever it happens to be.
Well, that benefits them.
Yes.
Their people can walk and not
Yes,
have to.
absolutely. And I think that's, where council stands too. Again, I can't speak for council, but, anyone that watches or speaks to any of them, council is very, they have a really tough job. It's not only, they have to worry about police and fire and public works and CIP and all these other things, but they're also very well aware about parks and recreation needs, and they've been very diligent. Just to see what council has been able to get us, I would say over the last, 8 to 10 years, is pretty good for a city this size. So we're very fortunate that we've got a very proactive council that's very recreation-minded. Let's see, we are working currently right now to develop criteria for introducing new events and festivals, including additional staff. Our intern is going to be working on that as well. Our entire staff will. This is something that we started back in 2018-19 with our MAG 3 interns that we had. And so there's different types of development that have happened. So, but we should have that done here soon. So that's another check off. And then the community-wide survey, interviews related to holiday events. Yes, parade.
You knew that was coming.
Yes. It's there. And different festivals. And
When
of
we do
course-
this survey, can we ask for businesses as well who would like to
Right, yes.
participate?
Yes. And of course, the efforts to increase volunteerism. We have a wonderful community that likes to help. We have volunteers that come out for a lot of our different events. And when you think about how small our department is, and you think about the large-scale events that we do, you can see how many staff that we have. So having more people to be able to come out and help, whether it's a 3-hour shift or a 4-hour shift, it's nice to have that. So another thing that we're working towards is just doing a whole volunteer packet where people can come and sign up, and help with all kinds of different things. So we're also progressing with that. And then I think the last thing, which is more going to be working with administration and council, that's partnering with different community groups and nonprofits to try and figure out how we can improve some more quality of life. So, and then the other last thing is develop master plan for the conservation area. That we can't trigger until part of that road is done. Once that road is done, which I forget how much it's going to cost. I know it's coming. It will be coming in. One of the ones down in, I think it was Ladies Island, we met with them right before they opened up a couple of years ago. A lot of folks need to understand that it does take time to plan and execute all of these things. It took them almost 20 years to get it done. So we want to try and get ahead of that curve because again, we're kind of in a place where there's more and more people moving and we're trying to catch up as much as we can. So, I mean, even the rec center, you know, with the different programming and rentals and anyone that's out here in the complex can see we're busting at the seams. So those are what council, those are their strategic plan that we went through this past January. So these are good for the full year. And what we do is about every quarter, Mr. Davis, who is our deputy city manager, he comes through just to make sure we're on track with where we are, and then we give these reports back to council. So there's a lot of different outcomes, metrics, all that kind of stuff. We don't get too involved with all of that with the PRT, but we do want to make sure that, you know, we're thinking outside the box as well as meeting some of these goals. So hopefully that'll be kind of a quick little synopsis of what council wants. And then if we want, we can go back over and start going over what the priorities and goals are for us that we have currently. These can all change. This is completely up to you. This is the one thing that this advisory council has complete control of, is trying to figure out how Parks and Recreation is going to be able to move in different directions. So this is very, very important. And, you know, like I said, we're not going to build Rome in a day, but all ideas are always welcome.
So these goals that we work on now will be given to council to consider before they revise the goals, because you said it's good for the year, so.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they revise, or they
Yeah.
look at it annually to see if there's anything they need to change.
Yes, the council goals, we do that every single year. Ours, we usually do every 2 years, just to make sure we're in line, because again, you can look at some of these things and realize we're not gonna be able to have, you know, a whole plan developed for Millstone this year.
Right.
But we wanna have those goals so we can continue to work with them. And I will tell you this too, is even when I first got here in 2018, some of the goals that they had for us have completely changed. Like they've taken them off completely. So we have to, you know, kind of look at them all the time to make sure that we're still in line and everything that we're asking for and working towards is relevant. So
Okay.
the second priority that we had worked on, and we've done a great job, Logan and his team have really taken off with that. Mel is working on some new programs and events as well. Priority 2, the goals were to involve the community in a needs assessment through public meetings, surveys to provide insight into programming, and look at changing some of the operational hours, which we did, as we have adequate staffing levels to expand hours of operation. Ensure there's an adequate staffing. Obviously, we're working through that, and this advisory council, our commission, was very instrumental in making sure that we were able to get that position as well. So we will need a full-time AD to facilitate the programs. Check. So hats off to you all for that. Current duties are split right now. The complex is with me, and then programs are to the center manager. So we're still working through the volunteer base, which is in line with what council wants. And then the department can't incur any additional programs or events without adequate improvements to staffing levels to be able to provide quality services and events to the community. So we have yet to put out another survey. It's something that we can work on and get that out at least once a year. We try to be as relevant as we can to get that information out. So it is about time for us to do another one. Number 3 was finding better ways to engage and market to everyone in the community through various forms of communications, social media outlets, mass mailers, quarterly publications, e-newsletters, constant contact. Landon, for many of you that will remember Landon, he was key in trying to get us to get constant contact. We have it, and anyone can sign up for that to get our lovely newsletters as well. So we have worked quite a bit on that. We found that the mailers, which we thought would be a really good advertising piece, didn't really do much of anything. And they're highly expensive. We do have a lot of traffic that still comes through off of our billboards on I-95. Our most popular is the dog park.
Absolutely.
It's the dog park. And it's crazy, when you're thinking about it, you're driving down the road and you see a dog, you've got like 5-6 seconds to be able to figure out what it is, but it's one of the most utilized. So it does work. Logan is working through doing some planning the membership drives throughout the year to facilitate increased revenues to offset those expenses. Right now, our membership is it's amazing. We continue to, we don't have to go out and ask for membership. Membership is making what it needs to be just by being open. We have a lot more people that are coming through, and I know a lot of folks, when we first opened, thought that we were nuts to build it, the fitness center, who's going to want to come there? Everyone else has their own. Yeah, it's the number one used amenity. And what's our number one demographic? Seniors. Yeah. And then, again, we've got the different programs, athletics that Logan and his team have been working through, and this new position will be basically taking all of that over and bringing in more tournaments and more tourism to our area. So that's the priority too.
On that, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
Okay, hours of operation, is there any, I think, how late are you guys open now?
So we changed the operational hours from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. And now we're open from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. Operational hours on Saturday have remained the same, from 10 a.m. until 5. And believe it or not, we don't have as many people on Saturdays. You would think on a
I
Saturday.
know, that's what I was thinking if we were gonna expand that.
Nope. Yeah, as
Okay.
of right now, we haven't gotten any input. A lot of people have asked about Sundays. We just don't have the staffing to move into Sundays. But that's something that we'll put on the survey for extended hours.
So that could be a goal, is maybe having Sunday hours. And then, is there gonna be any more for the future? And I know it's all planning, but, maybe more kid-based programs?
Yeah, we've got quite a few right now. Other than athletics, we also have little kids. One of the things, that we're looking at doing is maybe like whether it's Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, those kind of things. And we're also looking at doing some different types of camps. Not necessarily summer camp, but trying to figure out how we can maybe do like a sports camp or something like that.
Yes, I saw the sports camps for the high schoolers, but I didn't see any for like I don't know, there's preschool and then there seems to be high school and then there seems to be.
No in between.
Yeah, I just noticed there's kind of, maybe this, because I'm not looking at the right places, but, so that was my question on that was, can we, I don't know. And then my other question was membership.
A lot of that is up to the people doing the camps.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of times our instructors want to work exclusively with the little kids. And then, for instance, the volleyball camp that we just did, Rising Tide, their teams only start at like 13. So it automatically kind of excludes that middle gap. But we've sought it out. When we did the USCB camps, some of those started at 9 and 10. But for some reason, that's like the gap where travel sports, which is usually who puts on these camps, it just doesn't cater to it.
Because last year the volleyball was for middle school. I know that there were middle school grades included, but they weren't this year.
Yeah, it was a different group.
Yeah.
So last year, Seaside Volleyball Club did it, and this year was Rising Tide. So they have different age groups. Unfortunately, Seaside folded, so they don't exist anymore. So Rising Tide's kind of, I expect them to expand, to take over some of those teams, but not yet.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
What's the little one that we have? The little tumblers? Those are little ones, like
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah, she teaches,
Yeah,
it's like
I was just,
gymnastics.
yeah, toddlers, I was looking in that like 5 to 10-year-old range. I didn't see much.
Elementary and middle school.
Elementary and middle school, I
Yeah.
didn't see much in that range.
Yeah, we have, I know the martial arts
I know the
class,
martial arts,
but
yeah.
that's really the only one that we've gotten, to kind of sustain.
I know, one of the other programs that we're also looking at too is like a kids' night in, where parents can drop their kids off, have free play. The YMCA's used to do it all the time. So those are things that we're looking at doing, as well as doing spring break camps. Because one of the things that is definitely needed in our area is, after-school care. We partnered with the YMCA before. They ended up going over to, I think, Royal Live Oaks, and I think maybe the Boys and Girls Club are now looking at taking that program over, or something to that effect, so. But yeah, it's hard because, we have to try and cater to everybody, so, and also too, needing instructors to be able to teach those age groups, so those are all good, very good points. Okay, the third priority, we're doing really, really well on this. I don't know if anyone has been back there to see this. The safety maintenance improvements at the Richard Gray Complex Park in the back. As the department continues to grow, we are reviewing the staffing levels. If we add any more large amenities or anything back there, I mean, we're full. There's only so much space. We do have about 10 acres that's right alongside I-95. So that is something that we'll be looking at, trying to figure out how we're going to assess. I think our master plan has an open area for like special events. And then there's been talk about maybe adding some more fields in the back, more than likely practice fields for, football or lacrosse or, whatever, rugby, whatever we happen to do.
Is that over there by, you say on 95, is that over there by,
You know where the old dog park is? When
Yeah.
you drive all the way around on the Randall Gate? If you were to drive all the way in the back right there, that land goes all the way down to the end of John Smith. And there's like a little corner where they're building. So it's almost like right behind where you guys live, almost. Okay. And like I said, I think it's about 10 acres-ish, something like that. So room for growth. At one point, we had planned to have an entire road back through there. I don't know that that'll happen, but there is a plan for it, so that'll be kind of cool.
kind of low back there, but
Yeah, the whole area is.
Yeah.
So that's like our grass
Mount Arbor
auxiliary
Road.
field. Man, every time it rains, it's it's pretty rough. But anyway, we are constantly looking at the equipment. Bill and Andrew do a wonderful job. Anytime we need new equipment, we're getting it. Anyone that uses the facilities that requests certain equipment, we try and get as much as we can within reason. And we continue to make improvements. We just spent a little over, I think it was maybe $30,000 to do some preventive maintenance work on our covered shelters, which were, I think, almost, I don't know, I want to say they were like $500,000 to build. So, that's an investment for us. So we want to make sure every couple years that should last us for the next 4 or 5 years and continue to do that so they stay in good order. We just continued painting. We painted the inside lockers in our locker rooms. We got that up and done. We are getting ready to do some of the inside of the bathrooms. The exterior, if you drive down, you can see all of that has been done and painted. We're trying to stay on top of all the fencing, so we're continuing to work through that.
do you have like a maintenance plan that y'all follow?
Yes. we
Because
do.
I will say, everything is always, like, you don't go and see stuff that's torn up or whatever. I mean, it's very well maintained.
Oh, yeah. Yep, they do that all the
Kudos
time.
to-
Constant, every day, they're out there looking at different stuff. Even the fields, I think it's those that know me, athletics is where I started. That's always been kind of my passion, being in collegiate sports and all that kind of stuff. So it's always fun and exciting to come out and see how the different fields and stuff have emerged just from the last couple of years. Bill and Andrew have done an amazing job. We've poured a lot of money out there, and we finally, when you're such a small community as we are, everybody plays everything. So you've got soccer, rugby, lacrosse, everything on one field.
Yeah.
And it tears your fields up. So unfortunately, a lot of folks didn't like it when I first got here. I was like, nope, you got to go. You got to go. You can't do football out here. You got to do this. Football on the football field, soccer on the soccer field, baseball over here. And now if you go out there and look at them, they're award winning. They're beautiful. That's from a lot of persistence and continuing preventive maintenance. So
A lot of hollering.
this is true. Yeah. So, but again, we can't incur any more amenities, so to speak. Right now, Bill and Andrew oversee Millstone Landing, so they do all the cutting and all that stuff there. We also have a little bit of partnership with Public Works. They do the pond side, or I should say the riverside, where they're able to get in and cut. They have the equipment, we don't. And we're getting ready to cut back maybe this week, I think. That whole ditch line that goes all the way to the back of the trail, that's getting ready to get cleaned out. Yeah, it's been like that for a while, so it'll be nice. It'll help, even with all the rain that we had, we did pretty good. We only had maybe about 1.5 inches, 2 inches over, so everyone knock on wood.
Yeah.
That was good.
But nothing
So-
else comes.
Yes, hopefully. Shh. But anyway, one of the other things too, Yeah, this is a big hot topic, especially with our council, trying to make sure, splash pads are huge. Parks and Rec definitely wants to build splash pads. I'd put them on every corner along with playgrounds if I could. But the uniqueness of Richard Gray and what we have out there, we have to figure out, if we're gonna be able to put it back there. So we have established a committee, of a couple of folks, and we'll be meeting, later this week, and then, of course, we'll give that back to council. And then council will decide, priorities, to see if we're gonna get one, or maybe at a different area in a different park we're not even aware of yet. The pump grinders that we have out there right now were just replaced, with the new bathrooms coming, with, the new playground. Well, I should say the shelter that's gonna be out there for picnics and all that kind of stuff. If we add anything else, we have to have a pump station. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. The grinders will not be able to hold capacity, so. And then, what else we got going on back there? We have plans, it's in the permitting phases right now, which means it could be another 6 months, maybe a year before we get everything back. But all of the parking that we've been screaming about for the last 5 or 6 years, it's coming to fruition. So we are finally gonna get all that stuff done and improved. Yeah, adding a lot more parking, because right now, if you go down there and kids are playing, I mean, everyone's parking everywhere. There's really nowhere to park. And it's a heavily used area, so can't wait for that to come on. And then the back area, over by the church on Randall, we are also getting ready to do that. We are not paving it with asphalt. We're gonna be using a new, it's really cool. It's a pervious system, so that when it rains, it can still drain. And it looks just like, concrete. I mean, it's pretty cool. So, a little bit more pricier, but, in the end of the day, it's gonna be good for the environment and all that stuff. So that'll be nice, especially festivals and all that overflow parking for events that we need, so. And then, let's see, we are still focused on the adopted Richard Gray Recreation Complex, Park Master Plan. That was a mouthful. Improvements, and I mean, we're almost done with it. So that's, again, we did that master plan, I believe, in 2018. Juju was done in 19, I'm sorry, it was in 19. And the only thing that's left really after the Juju Park Playground is to complete all of our signage, which we're getting all new signage around. So you'll see a lot more new signs coming. The baseball fields are gonna get big signs. They've already been ordered. Knowing Bill and Andrew, they're probably already installed. So that way everyone can see us, and a lot new stuff coming as well with that, so.
Is everything closed back there at night? Because,
Yeah,
okay.
we shut down, technically, we shut down at 10. If there's an event or a football game, stuff like that, the police will come through and they'll lock everything down. We do have the occasional folks that like to jump the fence, so thank you to our PD if they're watching. They do an amazing job to make sure we safeguard our amenities. Millions and millions of dollars invested. So our downtown area in our city should be very, very happy. Most cities this size don't have that kind of a community park compound. So it's
Yeah,
amazing.
because there's cameras back there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yep. And we watch them.
Yeah.
We do. So we know who's on the park, who's on the fields when they're not supposed to be. Priority number 4 is the East Argent Conservation Easement, so it's something that we still want to work towards. It is part of what council is aligned for. It's probably a few more years out, but it is still something that we need to work through. And then priority 5 was Millstone Landing, which is in here as well, and probably a couple years out. So that's kind of what we have. So again, it's up to you all to kind of figure out if we want to add more, take something out, move them around. It's completely up to you all to, get all this stuff up and rolling. So I will allow each of you, if you have any concerns or questions, and just to give you the platform to, talk about what you think is important. Tam, we know the parade's important. Christmas parade.
Yeah, I would like to see something in here about the Christmas parade and helping get it going.
Yeah.
Well, like for number 1, we may just want to change
Yep.
that to like involving the community, maybe like in the survey and that sort of thing, because a lot of this stuff we've already done.
Yeah, so the trail systems for priority one is to provide the connectivity.
I was looking at two, I'm sorry.
Oh,
But
okay.
number one, yeah, we're just waiting on the,
All we have to do
different-
is wait for the development and stuff. So, and again, we can always change our priorities if you want to move a 1 to a 2 or something like that. Everything that's in here, we're either working on or some of it has been done. The adequate staffing, that one, I feel pretty confident to be able to take that off unless we grow our special events. If we grow anything with special events, we're definitely going to need more staff. And we hope that having the volunteer program, if we can get that up and running, that will help alleviate some of that.
So I have a question on the volunteer program. So I know this is going to be, I don't know, you may already thought about this, but, and I'm sorry, Logan, I know you're out here, I'm just used to speaking to, but, so here's my question. When we do the volunteer, or when you do the volunteer program, are you going to have, like, if they're interested in helping with events, where we could sit there and do maybe a trunk or treat committee, or not maybe even a committee, but just a group, and then a Christmas committee where they are ready to go, so we're not sitting there on Christmas committee with,
Yeah,
and same
Yeah.
with trunk or treat, so it's not all on Mel.
yeah,
At the-
absolutely.
you
It's
know.
something, it's something that we can definitely look at doing. Trying to get our community a lot more actively involved and giving them a voice is something that we're definitely working
So with
towards.
volunteer, just sit there and say, hey, would you like to volunteer?
because,
X,
There's what we're doing is creating basically a whole packet. Obviously you have to get your background screening and all that kind of
Obviously,
stuff.
yeah.
But in addition to that, you will have information on a little bit of everything. So,
so like if we want to be on this this is volunteer, so it would, to me, it should be similar to how everything else, planning committee, all those things are done because they're all voluntary positions. So why can't we have the rec have their own set of voluntary things that people can sign up for? Because a lot of times people would be more active, they just don't know, they don't know how to sign up. They don't know how to get their name out there.
I don't know where you are in the process, but having been a volunteer coordinator in 2 different locations, nonprofits, I have some booklets that I wrote on volunteer, which I'm more than willing to hand you to work with.
Yeah.
It gives you ideas of it's putting together exactly what they're talking about, the type of training that each individual needs to have and all that kind of stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we would welcome any of that. The whole idea is to have this packet that, one, you have to fill out the basic information, your application, all that. But what we really want to do is basically give a snapshot, and create this whole big thing. Burlington, North Carolina did this amazing thing with their special events. It's called B-Town. I encourage you, once you're done, just to look it up. B-Town Productions is
Like the letter
basically-
B?
Yeah, the letter B, as in Burlington. And the B-Town Productions is part of the special events team. And what they've done is they put all of their information out to the community. And those community are able to choose from whether they want to do tennis or if they want to do, a special event, all different kinds of things. And every one of them has like a niche. So you might have someone that's really interested in Halloween. Next thing you know, they're all over it. And then they've now started, this whole kind of cool thing that everyone wants to be like, I want to be on the Halloween one. And then you'll have, like I said, a little snapshot for everything versus you might have someone that's like, yeah, I'm not into events. I'm thinking more like I want to do like athletics. So we're giving those different options. And even with Logan and I, anyone that does athletics, same thing. They go through the same process, but it's not just, oh, well, I have a kid, let me sign up. And then, I just want to go do basketball. We have folks that are at our gym right now that are, retired. They've coached, they've done all kinds of things. So now they're at the point where they want to give back. We just have to be able to put everything together so that people know what is out there to volunteer for. There's some things.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's some things, obviously we have to have staffing involved. But the majority of that manpower and being able to utilize, creativity and ideas, all those things. I mean, our department is very creative, but, the community might have a really good idea that we never thought about.
And not just the community, but businesses too, because they can get a team from the business to get involved in whatever too, so.
So that's my only thing is, so we could have these, I don't know if I'm using the right word, committee or something, but that way we've got the Halloween the trunk or treat ready to go. We've got a group that's constantly working on it. And then the Christmas committee, we can start, it's December 6th. We can start again December 7th and regroup and sit there and say,
Yeah.
yep, this is what we did. And be ready to regroup versus almost having a year.
No break. Christmas year round.
So maybe that number two.
Let's make it.
Just needs to reflect that there's a process for volunteerism. So that we can make sure all
And
athletics
building.
and events are covered,
And building that volunteer.
right,
Yes.
to build the base.
Yeah. That is, yeah.
Instead of saying adequate staffing, we just focus number two on that
Volunteering, yeah.
volunteerism.
Okay. Yeah, Tam has a really good point. Not everyone is as passionate about, Christmas parades as Tam is, but that's what you need, because you need a spark. If you have some, because, I can't tell you how many times, we try and reach out to the community and they're like, and you're like, oh, we got to get this stuff going. If not, it falls on us to be able to provide these services to the community, and it's a huge stress on us. I know when we did the parade the very first year, it was very stressful. And it wasn't huge, but there was such, everyone from the community loves parades, and they had the idea of what it was before, and so we were trying to make sure that we made it at least that or better, and it went off well, but, there's a huge pressure on our staff's shoulders that, we want to provide the best experiences for our community. So once we find people that meet those little niches, it's like, now we got it. And then, because like I said, not everyone is, interested. We have the fill the bus stuff. We have a group of ladies every year, same thing. They're ready to go. The Santa's Toy Box, super easy. They're a core group. You can call on them, and next thing you know, you have 40, 50 ladies that show up, and men as well that come. So that's the idea, to, get them rolling for everything else. And it depends on how, whatever that niche is that everyone, kind of wants. So yes, we'll definitely work on that, and I'll add the volunteerism and get that packet for the number 2.
It almost, I hate to sound but can we almost try to do the build a committee aspect for the different special events? Just to take it off of you as well, is a Halloween committee, a Christmas committee, a fill the bus committee. So like you said, when you need something, all you have to do is call this group, and you got them.
Yeah, it's something that we can definitely work with Mel. We have to be really
I know it's
careful.
a lot of work, and I know you have to
Yes,
do background
because
checks.
a staff person has to oversee it.
Exactly,
So,
and I get that, but that's why I'm saying, can we put this in our goals, that maybe this is something we want to really build on?
Yeah.
Because when you need something, it shouldn't fall on you. That's why we're here as a group.
Yes.
And that's why we should be building this part.
Yes.
This is what I see. This is my
Yes.
envision anyway.
This is one of the goals of this advisory commission, is to help establish volunteerism.
Right, and
Within
these,
our
and we've
programs.
built the bus and all that.
Yes.
So we gotta keep it going and not be oh, by the way, it's next month.
Right. Okay, I could definitely do that. Okay.
I'll be off my soapbox now.
You're fine. The marketing aspect, I think we're doing pretty good on that. Council does have marketing in there, not necessarily with PRT. I think they realize PRT kind of does, their own thing. I know there's been a little bit of change with the media and all them, but the city does a wonderful job getting everything out. We work very well, with, this media team is here right now. They post our stuff, cross-post, all that kind of stuff, so we definitely,
Yeah, membership
definitely hit
drives and
that.
stuff like that, you don't need
Yeah.
that in here.
I think we're past,
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
you
past
have
that.
Logan for that
Yes.
aspect, so, I mean, we can kind of probably take that.
look at y'all, knocking them out, man, hot dog. Okay, alrighty, let's see, the safety maintenance improvements, again, I feel like we're where we need to be on that. We've done
Are you feeling
amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
It was very instrumental in getting this priority, and again, yeah, when you look at the priority levels, you're thinking, okay, well, this one, they all come in different times, but, based off the staffing that we have right now, it's, we're doing
think
really
where
well.
we were when we wrote this.
Absolutely, yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah, I don't know that this
Was
commission had ever done the goals.
No,
objectives
that
yet.
was the
Yeah.
that was
Yeah. So that's basically your retreat. Without having to be here all day. But again, and things change with your priorities, and one minute it could be all about volunteerism, and the next year it's okay. We've got that rolling, and now we really want to focus on doing some outreach and working with some nonprofits and trying to get partnerships, those kind of things. So it will change. But I will say, from the director standpoint, your safety, maintenance, all that stuff is being very well taken care of.
The one thing with Millstone Landing, if the city gets any budget at all, could we focus just a little bit on lighting and security down there?
So lighting is there,
Is it there now?
and security is there.
And
yes.
security.
They have
security
cameras there,
Are
too.
cameras there now?
Yep, cameras and lights were both installed. I'm gonna say maybe August last year,
Okay.
maybe September.
I thought they were, but then I was like, no, I was thinking something else.
Yeah, we had pushed for it, and then they're like, and then PD was able to get some grants, and so whoop, got that rolling. So yeah, they've reinstalled all the light poles down there, and we also have cameras that are down there as well, and it's helped cut down quite a bit of
There's some
riprap.
shenanigans that go on.
I mean, the plan's in place.
Yes.
Yeah, but they get busted up though, those shenanigans.
do.
People,
do,
I
yeah.
hear it all the time. People are
Yeah.
saying so-and-so's over.
Yeah,
You
it's
know
crazy.
what's going on.
They do, so.
Yeah.
So we get, what do we want to do with priority 3?
I
Do we
don't think
wanna-
it needs to be a priority. I mean, unless you just want to say maintain it, but I don't think. There's other things.
Again, this is something that I think we've met our goal on, and so probably at this point, just maintain what we have built.
I mean,
or
now
you've
we're
built.
moving toward trails and, I mean, maybe that property, that 10 acre, we're like changing our focus now.
Okay, good with that.
But do we really want to take it out before it's totally complete?
Well, that's why I said maybe we.
I don't think
maintain.
this would change anything though until the next time that the city redoes their plan, because
We can keep this.
we're behind them. Like, they had their goals, then we do our, so it'll be a while before it gets.
Yeah,
But if we do maintain, then that keeps it on our,
it does. It just means it's a different priority level. That's all.
does that help if we do the maintain versus taking up completely?
Well, and we can add like the new areas, like the trails and stuff as there. We want to make sure, any,
And
as
if
things
it's
are added, that the same safety measures are going out.
And if we can add things like the splash pad, we want to make sure that that stays up there.
Well, that would go.
With the splash pad would go with 3, wouldn't it? Improvement.
We don't know if it's gonna, we don't know, we have to wait till the exploratory committee, meets, and then we're gonna give all that information back to council.
But we were just talking, I think it stays in this
Does
room,
it stay in this one or does it go?
because it's an improvement. Or does it go with number? Yeah, it's gotta stay with that one, right?
Yeah, so your priority 3 can probably be moved to priority 5 or 6 if you want to add one. If we want to add the splash pad,
Okay.
we can look at doing that.
Yeah,
as
it should
part of the
come after
exploratory.
Millstone Landing, don't you think?
Yeah, I think these
Don't
two
y'all
move
think?
up and this one comes down. That sound?
Everybody agree?
Yeah, I would love to see Millstone get a little bit more.
Are you okay with
I would
Juju?
like to see Millstone.
It's
Yeah.
Are you okay with
It's
Millstone?
such a
Millstone
beautiful
probably needs to
area.
stay. Yeah, Millstone and the East Argent. Again, those are,
And it's really growing back there, so I feel like it's really growing back there. So a big developer just bought some land back there and will be growing it, which makes me very nervous because it is very historic back there. It's a very historic
Yes, it
land back
is.
there, and I feel like that needs to be watched closely of what they do back there. So I feel like that needs to be bumped up. My personal opinion. I don't know if everybody knew that.
I'd love to see it rise.
Yeah, some
'Cause that's
housing developers are starting to buy back there.
That's kind of like this,
It's everywhere.
Number 3,
it ca- that area can be as busy as the artificial turf with proper improvements, bathrooms. And that's bringing real money in. So,
yeah, and right now, we have a lease agreement. We own, the entire property in the building. We have a lease agreement with the Marine Rescue, I believe, into 2028, 29, maybe.
It's around
So-
2030, I know.
Yes,
Like, it's-
something like that. So, and again, they have all the facilities that we just don't open it to the public, because they have that lease. They have all their, stuff and their equipment and all that. So that is something that we'll work through, down the road. Is it, the building is ancient, it
Yes.
probably needs,
I've-
and they do a wonderful job maintaining it and keeping it up and running. But it's not open to the public right now. But yes, having
But if-
bathrooms and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
but if we could build that up, that would be another area for people to lease out events and
Yes.
if they needed to.
Yes.
There's
that's
been a
what council was-
plan for Millstone Landing forever.
Yeah.
I know, but that's why we
It
need to
just
move it
keeps
up.
getting pushed back, pushed back,
Yeah,
pushed back.
it hasn't fallen off though.
Right.
No, it just keeps.
That's the trick. We
We're gonna
let it
get
fall
to
off.
it. We're gonna get
We've
to it.
maintained it.
Yeah, so let's move it to 3.
All right, we'll
So
keep that one.
3 is moving down, Millstone's moving
Becoming
up.
5 and 5.
Yeah, and also too, just to let you know, this will take a while, because what I'll do is I'll redo all these and I'll send them to everyone to look at. Everyone can provide their feedback. If we need to make changes, we'll change it, send it back. So all of this has to come back in front of you all to approve it before it becomes adopted.
But I'm with you. It's a great opportunity
Oh,
to make
it's-
to have some other, run it out, make some money off of it,
I can
And
remember
it's a beautiful area.
coming over here in
Are you gonna cut out the?
'98 to a fishing tournament. I worked at Stone Container and they did a fishing tournament over
Yeah,
here.
they do fishing.
And actually won money.
Really?
Spent money eating, spent money.
Yeah, they do the Boston, was it maybe 2 or 3 times a year that they do the butt sale with the Boston butts? I feel like it's a couple times a year.
They may.
Just did a fundraiser, for Mike Benton,
Yeah.
maybe 3, 4 weeks ago.
I fell in love with it back there. That's what made me fall in love with
Like I said,
Hardeeville.
It's beautiful.
That area.
We like to go down there and check it out. Also too, towards the other direction in Perrysburg, we are working with the Huguenot Society. They have a little plot of land. It's probably a quarter of an acre. So we've been in contact with them. They're outside of Charleston, to work with them and the property owners to get it cleaned up just a little bit. We don't have any ownership in it, but we have accommodation taxes or even state taxes that we could use for tourism. There's a lot of people, that come down and check it out. So we are working on that as well, and that's a part of cultural tourism as well. So there's a lot of history and all that stuff.
There
as
is a
well.
lot of history back there, and I don't think people realize.
There's a new history committee for the city of Hardeeville, just formed about 2 months ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I've
And I know they
been
just got a
meeting with
tremendous
Kat.
grant,
Yeah.
but,
I would be interested, but I also know somebody else who
well,
would.
there's a question going forward as to whether or not we can be on 2 committees, or commission,
Yeah,
committee
I
and a
know.
commission. So Harry was looking into that when I talked to him a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I do know somebody who's very well versed in the history of Hardeeville.
This, the lady who's in charge of it is very, very.
Okay, because she would probably be very interested in it. Her dad passed away, but she's a museum curator and knows the history of this. So I'm sure she'd be really interested. I'll let her know.
Yeah, there's some people that I know are interested.
Can you send me some information or contact?
Catherine DeCourcy. If you
can
go on
send
her
her email.
Facebook, yeah.
I was gonna say my husband has it, but.
Perfect.
I have it at home. I don't have it here, but.
Yeah, if you can send me that, because I'll send it to Brandy. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right,
Sorry, we got off track.
Nope, you're fine. Let's stay on track. So the trail systems, again, that's building phase 2 of what we just built. FYI, it's $1 million for that trail that we just built out there. So we're probably looking at that as well to do the connection over to the rec center. But boy, wouldn't that be awesome that kids can, get out of school, get on the trail, come back, go straight over, whether they're using the fields for practice or whatever it happens to be, and even those that live in that community. As a matter of fact, I think they're gonna be partnering with the rec center, providing, was it either a 1-year or 2-year membership or something like that, to the people that buy in that area, so that's kinda cool. So where do we wanna put the trail system at? Let's do this. What is everyone's main priority? You've seen what council wants for priority. What is the main priority that we wanna try and focus on?
I would
in the
really
next
love
year or
to
two?
see the
I think,
volunteering.
yeah, 2 and,
I think volunteering really needs
2 and 3 seem to really be high on the,
I would
with
really
the
like to
city
see
too.
that built, getting the community involved and getting some volunteer. Because we are growing, we're growing at a huge capacity, and we all want these events. And I'm sure there's people out there who would love to if we can get this going. So I would love to see that. That's my personal opinion. I don't know where everybody else stands on that.
I think the assessment has to be high up on the list. I don't know if it has to be number one, but doing a total needs assessment for the community. Is up there. Especially because we're so diverse now.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we didn't get it this year in the budget, the CIP, but we'll continue to ask for it every year. They usually run anywhere between 150 to 250,000.
I have to ask, and this is totally, it might sound like a rude question, but it's not meant that way. Do the people that are working on the budget, do they understand the importance of what an actual needs assessment does for the community in all aspects?
That's a good question.
Okay.
And there are CDBG funds and stuff for things like that.
Yes.
We just need to be, with LCOG, a little more proactive about recreational sort of stuff.
All right.
And they love to do needs assessment stuff. I don't know why, but they do.
Yeah, and again, your needs assessment, is in partnership and in harmony with what a comprehensive plan is, which is basically a strategic plan. You can call it master plan, comp plan, strategic plan. They're all very, very different, but what we really need is a strategic plan based off of your needs assessment that shows how the city Parks and Recreation is going to grow, whether it's fields, trails.
From everybody's
Millstone.
perspective.
Yes, and it's from, whether it's, you're 6 years old. I mean, we've invited those folks. The last one that we did was for the Richard Gray. We were over at Creative Church working with them because we didn't have a space. So we got a lot of different folks, whether it's downtown people, 278. I mean, Hardeeville is growing. So, one of the things, and I know Harry and I both share the same vision, is that it's not downtown Hardeeville and it's not, 278. It is one Hardeeville. We all have to learn to merge and work together. In Parks and Recreation, we really try to bring everybody together. So that strategic plan is really going to help figure out. And, sometimes the needs assessments, we think we know exactly what everyone wants, and they come back and we all go,
What? I know.
okay. Like you would think, oh, everyone wants pickleball, but you never know. They might come back and say, no, we don't want pickleball. We want tennis instead. So, but it does help you grow, and it helps you prioritize exactly what you need to do, and where and how we grow. So, okay. So what I'm hearing is strategic plan, the needs assessment, all that stuff, maybe one or two, the volunteer committee, maybe one or two, and
Three
then,
Millstone.
3 is definitely Millstone.
okay,
And then 4 would still East Argent,
okay.
and then 5 would be the safe, right, and the safety issue, the improvements in the safety.
Yeah, and staffing and all that stuff, and continuing maintenance. Okay, and is there
You want
any?
to add something that we can't take
Yes, you
care
can
of?
absolutely, you can have 50 goals if you wanted to. I don't want you guys to get so overwhelmed by too many goals. We did this before with council, and it truly does become overwhelming. When you've got, 100 different goals that, you want to be able to do all of them. But we really want to be able to effectively come back to you in the next year or two and go, check, we got it. And from this list, I mean, the majority of it's done, not all of it, but a good portion of it, so. But, again, you can add more amenities, you can look at adding more parks, you can look at adding more fields, you can look at adding splash pads. Whatever you think from your perspective, from, whatever you're thinking, is up to you all as a group.
Just make sure that the wording, like on the city, on that first page where it says partner with community groups and nonprofits for collaborative efforts, like something to that effect is in there. But it looks like we basically included everything that they see, like it looks like we're on the same page. It
Yes.
doesn't look like we're over here and they're over there.
Yeah, and it's very.
Which at
very-
one point, it did seem like that.
Yeah.
Perhaps a conservation area.
When we first did our goals, it did not seem like we were on the same page.
Yes. And it is, like I said, it is very hard to kind of get all over the board when you first start. And I will tell you too, that even the council goals, they have changed.
A lot.
A lot. And I think you're gonna continue to see that where we're focusing on one thing and then council says, you know what, let's change course. We need to change course because this is more important now, or something, pops up and we have to be able to, be quick on our feet and go, okay. And that's the whole thing about your goals and objectives. They simply are goals. It doesn't mean that you're gonna attain them all, but it's something that you're gonna look towards. And the objectives, same thing, they both have the same, ideology of how you want everything to work through in your department, or, well, in the city, but, for our department too. Goals and objectives are huge. Logan can tell you the same. Any of our staff, we want to make sure everyone understands what we're working towards. And our number one thing, no matter what, as long as I am in this seat, will always be community first. The community is the one that, wants us here. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can for them. So, whatever the community wants, we really, really try to, make those needs possible. So, and I think that council is very much aligned with us on that as well.
They have definitely put their money where their mouth was, because a lot of cities,
Yep.
they say, oh, well, we'd like to do recreation, but we just don't have the money for that. There's other things. And they've really put their money where their
Yes.
mouth was. So
Yes.
I have to say,
Yeah.
I would agree 100%. Like I said, one of the reasons why I came down here was, the ideology of building something from nothing. I mean, we had the basic foundations of stuff, and now, I tell, the team
had
all the
land.
time. We had, it was two people, when I got here, it was me and Brittany, and, we were able to, do a lot, and then, slowly growing and just really, those grassroots efforts, trying to make as many partnerships and strategic planning as much as we possibly could to now having a beautiful rec center. The amenities in the back are, upgraded. We've got, now a beautiful dog park. We're getting ready to finally get the rest of Juju done, which is going to be beautiful. Everyone's going to love it. To maintaining fields, building trails. So, I mean, it's a lot of work that's been done in a matter of 6 years. So,
a lot.
yeah, this commission has a lot to be proud of. Our department has a lot to be proud of. And, again, we're always in sync, try to be as in sync as we can with what council does. So
Which is why you guys won an award for the rec center.
we did.
It
The
is
highest in
pretty
the state,
amazing.
so.
It is pretty, when you think about what we
Two
had
awards.
6 years ago, which was nothing but land.
That, and not only that, but how small our
The most
town.
hours in a week consistently for several years, 70 hours plus a week?
Pretty much.
Consistently,
I don't
5
remember
years.
a couple of years in between. I know I was here.
But they could have allocated a lot of those funds, those tourism funds and stuff. I mean, they pretty much funneled it.
Yeah, and there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot more coming down the line. And again, council, and even this commission, has the hard task of understanding the needs of the community and understanding there's only so much money in the bucket. I mean, grants will only take you so far.
You gotta
But-
match them.
Yeah, and everywhere, we just got a letter, as a matter of fact, about another grant that we're putting out for PARD. So fingers crossed we'll get that one, which will help alleviate some of the other costs that we have to have in our normal budget. But we've got, the city is working on the Veterans Park right now, or the Memorial Park, working through that. And, it's just, the dynamic is changing, and there's a lot of other things that are going on that aren't open to the public yet. But once they become available
It's
to the
gonna
public.
be beautiful.
Yeah, people are gonna realize how important, Parks and Recreation is, and how well vested our council and our community is in Parks and Recreation, so. Is there anything else that anyone wants to add? Terry, anything? I mean, again, it's.
I would say, I'm outvoted here, whatever I have to say.
Nope, there's no such thing.
No.
I would say drop that splash pad down on that number 6. Let's get it started like we did Millstone and get it moving up.
Okay.
Do I have any, yeah,
I second that.
You wanna do what to the splash pad?
Move it to number 6.
add it to the list.
Yeah, add it to
Yeah,
it.
it's adding to the list. Right now.
Wouldn't it go in though as an improvement
I think he
in
just wants
number
to make sure
5?
it stays on there.
And you could bullet it under there, couldn't you? You know how we have like that 1 and
When-
2
when
or
you
I think he
have-
whatever?
wants to make it his own
When
thing.
you have a big list, things get left off.
Yeah, he wants to make it its own thing.
Yeah.
Oh, at the bottom.
Right.
Bold. Yeah, yeah, I
wants
would
that
like
gold.
to see that. Like I said, Millstone started out way, way down, almost got left off, and we didn't give up on it.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
I think that would be a great thing, especially if you build it in the wintertime, to see all the people out there in a splash pad in the winter.
Sure. Okay.
I could have used it a few times.
Today would have been nice.
Today would have been nice.
Yeah, I would just like to say that, this is my first time going through the goals, and you all have done this already, so it's interesting to listen to everybody's perspective. But I do agree that the needs assessment, I think, needs to be the first priority. I think it's difficult to plan programs when you don't know what the community actually wants. And trying to guess at it and put a lot of money into something and you get it wrong, that's an expensive mistake. So I think, we have few dollars to work with, and so I think we need to be very prudent in how we allocate those dollars. I also just want to ask a question. It may be out of left field or not. But do we, after the events that we have, I know there are some standing events, the Christmas parade's new, it's been resurrected, but some of the other things that have been done for years, do we do an evaluation at the end of those programs and do sort of a postmortem to,
We do.
Okay.
We affectionately call those AARs. When I came here, we didn't really have an evaluation process. So now, one of the things that I do, or at least I hope that I do well, is try and bring everybody in from different perspectives. So basically what we do is we send information out to everyone and say, tell us the good, the bad, the ugly. And we go through everything from logistics to cost, to staff, you name it, communications, everything on every single one of ours. Some of them are pretty easy, they're pretty established, but like our big festivals, we did it for Battle of the Badges, we did it for Festival on Main, there's a couple others that we've done. And so, they're painful, but they're necessary.
Yes.
And sometimes,
And adjustments are made.
yes, they are. Yes, they are. So we do take heed of what is in there. And that's another thing that I can say, very proudly about this department, is that we do listen. We do take heed. Sometimes, people might be upset that their idea didn't get in right away, but we're still listening, we still hear them, and we're trying to make adjustments as we can. So yes, we do have them. One of the things that we are working with Mel too is to do, and programs with Logan as well, is to create some more program surveys, just basically at the end of a program. Hey, if you can, just take a few seconds to fill this out so that we can get feedback, on whether it's the program itself, the instructor, the fees schedule, all those kind of things. So that's something that we're working on doing too. So, but yes, we would be happy to share any of our AARs if anyone wants to see them. They're fun stuff, but we do have them. So yes.
that's great, thank you.
Yeah. Miss Pam?
I think I've been well spoken, so.
I'll agree.
But I did. I think I came in so quiet years ago.
I'm just glad that we're on board, that the council seems to be on board with what we wanted them to be on board with. Because when we first did these, they weren't.
Yeah.
I mean, with some things they were, but they certainly weren't as vested as we were.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's a good thing to see.
Yes, I agree. I agree with everything that's been said. All right, Miss Christie? I'm good. I love the Look at there. That is record time, y'all. How long did it take the very first time we did it? Over 2 hours. 3 hours.
Oh, my gosh. And then we had to meet again.
Yes, we did. Yes.
I think there was 3 meetings, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so what we'll do with this, again, I'll take it back. It won't be this week. We're catching up from everything from last week and all that kind of fun stuff. But I'll send everything out so that you guys can look at it. You have the opportunity at that time to go, I don't really like that wording. Maybe you need to change it to this. Everyone can reply all so that everyone sees those comments. And then from there, we'll create another clean document. And once it's ready to go, we'll bring it back in front of you all.
For old business,
Yes,
yeah. Okay.
to ensure that it comes through, and like I said, we'll even be able to take that and pass it along to our council so they can see all the hard work that's come through. I will say that priorities and goals are always hard, to kind of get through because everyone has their own, ideologies of what they want to see done. But kudos to all of you for getting through the process.
You don't need a motion or anything on this?
No, ma'am,
Okay.
not for this. This was, like I said, this is
We'll
all-
deal with that when it comes up next time. Okay, so that puts us at, you don't have any other new business, do you?
No new business.
Okay,
Nope.
that was enough. All right, director report.
So I'm gonna make this short and sweet. It's festival season. It is here. Again, I say this all the time. We get to January and we get a little bit of a break and we're like, okay, we're kind of flowing. And then as soon as we hit the month of August, it's, before you know it, we're gonna be done. Fill the bus, all that stuff. It's crazy. So anyway, just wanted to give you guys a few updates. We did finalize the Fill the Bus. We had a tremendous outpouring. We were able to give to Royal Live Oaks, as we always do, and of course to Jasper County Schools. So thank you to all the volunteers that help with that. It's a really great group of ladies that come from Hilton Head Lakes, Latitude, Margaritaville, as well as Sun City, and it's always fun to see them. Every year we see them, we're like, oh, hey, how are you? And, they're like, oh, I remember. So thank you for all of them for getting that organized. Again, it's great once you have that volunteerism established. All I do for this is send an email. That's it. I mean, we certainly do all of the marketing and all that kind of stuff for the public, but we send the information out to everybody, and then our team does all the logistics. But those ladies, they own it. So anyway, that was done. I know everyone is anticipating the big festival on Main. We will be announcing the bands very soon, and then there is a really, really cool thing that's happening. Can't release it yet. Mel will be working on doing all of our sneak peeks. Literally, she is working on that as we speak, and we'll be doing all that leading up to the event. We anticipate, the same crowd that we had last year. Maybe even more. The theme this year is it's 5 o'clock Hardeeville. So a lot of fun. Play on with Margaritaville. Margaritaville is our title sponsor. I think they gave almost $25,000. So that's a huge give to our community, and it helps bring all those rides and all that fun stuff out. So we're very, very excited. I believe, I don't want to quote myself or just but I believe we have almost $100 and some thousand in donations.
Wow.
Already, our sponsors.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Neil, who is our assistant city manager, has been working in conjunction with Mr. C, our city manager. Both of them have a lot of contacts, so it's phenomenal. I mean, it pays pretty much for the festival in itself, and then we're able to do a lot more as well, plus utilize ATEX. So everyone, that is coming up. That's going to be October the 11th and 12th, right behind City Hall. After that, of course, we've got our trunk or treat, which is a lot of fun. And we are also doing a new program this year, Day of the Dead. So we're trying to incorporate a little bit of different culture, trying to reach out to our Latino population as well to see if we can get that up and running. And then, of course, there we go. We've got our Christmas tree lighting ceremony is going to be coming up with the parade, all of that stuff. It's literally, I think, 3 days of activities. We've got the tree lighting, then we've got the parade, and then we have the Mary on Main, which was a lot of fun. So a lot of events coming. Also, too, I do have some flyers. Hopefully, you guys will take some. We do have a very special fundraiser. Kudos to Logan and Mel. We were tasked by council to come together and figure out something. I think Harry's words were, you guys create, so get to creating, and we got to creating. We were in a staff meeting and trying to figure out what we could do, and I would say probably within an hour after that.
For Mike, are you
Yes,
talking about?
Mike Benton. We hope to, be able to have a really good showing and be able to raise as much money as possible for him. That is going to be held on Friday, September the 13th, and Saturday, September the 14th. So it's not in our newsletter because newsletter came out before, but we do have information here. It's very well priced. Anyone that knows pickleball in the area, I think the first event is $30. Second event is an additional 10, so that's That's pretty good for the region and area. So, and 100% of the proceeds will go to Mr. Mike Benton. For those of you that do not know Mike, Mike runs the powwow every year down at Millstone. I think he's been doing it for, I don't know, 15, 20, 25, I don't know. how
Oh,
many years.
longer than
Forever.
that.
Yeah, he's the one that got that started, and he's been doing that. But also, he was a Hardeeville police officer, so he's a little underinsured. So we're trying to help him. He is battling cancer.
He was the community officer for years too. And I cannot tell you the people he helped in this community. I mean,
Mike is a huge supporter of Parks and Rec. His son now works here as well, Shane. But he, talking about community and giving back, Mike definitely gives back. So very lucky to be doing that.
And anybody who's thinking, well, he has insurance, let me tell you,
Yeah.
you're
underinsured.
always underinsured when you have kids.
Yes.
I
No
mean,
matter, yeah,
you are
it's
always.
crazy. It's, yeah.
All the help is welcome.
yeah, there's a lot of his stuff that's not covered, so.
So, the part-time athletic assistant, we are still putting that information out. We're also looking for another intern for the spring. I believe we've got one scheduled and coming. So, we're all about the interns. They do a tremendous amount of work. Anyone that's seen us, build this program, again, they're not going to get coffee. They are building policies and procedures. Trunk or treat, already told you about. Cha-cha-cha. Oh, this is a new one. This is, I think, already sold out, right, Logan? The extreme hip hop class.
Supposed to start last week and got rained out.
Yeah.
So today.
Yeah. So their classes are already, they're in the middle of it. Mondays at 6:30, it's $10 a person. So it's extreme hip hop step aerobics. And it's sold out already. So woohoo! Kudos to the.
Hop, you don't stop rocking to the bang bang the boogie.
Okay.
It'll be what we rock.
He's on meds. He's on meds for sinus infection. It's
Apparently, you triggered something.
happened?
Apparently, we have reached.
I
our
was an
limit.
extreme roller skater in the 80s.
I have to go. I'm gonna clip that from YouTube.
Just picture that.
All right.
Did you see him with his roller skates on?
So the next thing is Zumba. We're still doing Zumbas and Pilates with Liz. And of course, we're doing open volleyball, youth martial arts. And I think we just did a contract for another martial arts as well. So all awesome. Memberships speak for themselves. Open pickleball, and I believe Logan and Debbie are working to get leagues hopefully started soon. And then also too, what we have done for our first responders, they now active duty, are retired military. If you don't live inside the city limits, you can still get a membership at a city rate. So that's for active duty military, retired military, police officers, paramedics, first responders, fire, all that kind of stuff. So anyone that's out there listening, anyone in Jasper County or surrounding areas that work in our area and want to use it, it became effective July 1st. So we're very proud of that. And then I think that's pretty much it. We've already opened up the registration portals for our food vendors, and this I think will be this going on third year that we've sold out. We haven't sold out yet, but pretty sure we are. I think we've got maybe 10 or 15 in our rec desk queue already. So it's the one thing that gets sold out. You're definitely going to get a lot of good food. So other than that, that is all that I have for our updates, madam.
All right. Any questions for Jen? Although we're pretty good at just jumping in, so. All right, any commission issues and concerns, starting with the one who's doesn't have as big a voice? You're good? Okay. Y'all heard him, right?
Good.
Where's Kevin?
You're fine?
Hey, let me tell you about something coming up.
Wonder what it could be.
Well, let me just tell you, enlighten you for a minute.
Okay.
We have in case you hadn't heard, we are bringing back we already did, but the Christmas parade. So school starts back up this week for a lot of the schools. So I still need to get in touch with those schools. I know school schedules we have the teachers back now. And so hoping to get some groups, some clubs, anything, anybody more than welcome to come join us. I know there's some junior ROTC programs out there. We'd love to have you march. I'm trying to get a hold of A1 Trucking. They do not coming back because they have some really cool trucks. Have you ever seen them? The A1
Yeah, out
trucks?
of Ridgeland.
Out of Ridgeland. They have some really cool, cute little trucks, and I thought.
So
they'd
if
be
you're
fun.
from A1 Trucking
So if
Company,
you're from A1,
call
or
the
have a
city.
connection, call please and get we're off the rails. On the rails. I don't know if there's any. Are bands not a thing in the schools down here?
Yes, we did have a band, at least I know back in 18. I think a lot of changes have gone,
1809.
2018.
well, the high
I would
school's
reach
in
out-
Ridgeland, so.
Yeah, I would
you-
reach out to the Ridgeland.
To the
office.
Ridgeland High School. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not,
Because I would love to get a band. I'm not finding any luck with any band. So please, our goal is 50. Well, my goal is 50. Mel's goal is 75. So please, we're still really working on that. And I know everybody's like, oh, it's only June now. It's July. Well, it's August now. We still have that goal to reach. So really, really, really looking forward to the schools. If you have any contacts, please call and get them.
Please. Pretty, please.
Okay, I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. How could we follow Tammy? All right, so can I get a motion for an adjournment?
Absolutely, I moved that we.
A second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.